Hello, I'm Captain Jack and welcome to the Hangar Bay. On this channel, we take a deep dive into the best starships, technology, and more from your favourite sci-fi universes. Today, we're talking about the TIE Avenger Starfighter. While you may be familiar with the Avenger Starfighter from Andor Season 2, it has actually been featured in an older Star Wars video game before it debuted in live action. But what is unique about this design? Why is it such an advanced starfighter? In today's video, we explore the technical, story, and behind the scenes information for the TIE Avenger. Remember, to stay up to date with the latest videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think of this ship in the comments below. The TIE Avenger prototype measured 13.41 meters in length, 7.49 meters in width, and 5.30 meters in height. This starfighter featured 4 wings and shared a similar design profile to the TIE Interceptor, but had a larger rear section. Interestingly, the wings of the TIE Defender multi-role starfighter appeared very similar to those on the TIE Avenger, yet the main difference was that the Defender's wings were angled outwards rather than inwards on the Avenger. In terms of the armament, the Avenger featured a variety of weapons. Standard laser cannons were installed on the starfighter. These were located on the wing tips and in between each wing. Rotating laser cannons could also be deployed from the main section of the TIE fighter. Concussion missiles were also loaded on board, allowing a high level of destructive firepower for a smaller fighter. The Avenger also possessed an energy-based weapon that could successfully target and destroy various objects. It proved to be capable of blasting holes clear through thick armored doors, and taking out anyone stood in the way. A hyperdrive module was installed on the TIE Avenger, allowing it to travel at light speed. The armor plating was quite effective at both repelling light handheld blaster fire as well as laser fire from other TIE fighters. It is unknown if this model of a TIE Avenger had shields installed. From our analysis, it does not appear they were installed on this prototype version. As a prototype and an advanced design, the Avenger featured an interesting and unique flight control system. While standard TIE fighters would have their central control console, the Avenger featured 2 different controls. On the left side, there was a control that featured putting one's hand into the system. This allowed control over various weapons. On the right side, the speed control was featured. Display screens were present on each side of a pilot's view, just in front of the main canopy window. Rather than a display and scan system built into the central control, like the standard TIE series, the Avenger featured a holographic display on the view screen. This gave the pilot live scanning and targeting information. Internal space was larger than standard TIE fighters. Towards the rear of the cabin, there were 2 seats for passengers. This space could accommodate a small cargo load as well. To access the internal areas of the starfighter, a small boarding ramp was located on the aft section. Typically, TIE fighters would be accessed from above, allowing pilots to drop in and for the fighters to be stored in racks to conserve space on board ships like Imperial Star Destroyers. In Star Wars Legends, the TIE Avenger was a descendant of a TIE Advanced series of starfighters. There are many similarities to the TIE Interceptor design. The TIE Avenger's primary weapon systems were 4 Sinar Fleet Systems LS 9.3 laser cannons, mounted on the front tips of the solar arrays. These laser cannons were initially deployed on the TIE Interceptor and later incorporated into the TIE Defender. Much like its live-action counterpart, the Legends Avenger also incorporated warhead launchers, though it did have a unique system of a tractor beam weapon installed. While the Imperial TIE Fighter proved to be practical and effective, Imperial engineers were intent on improving the TIE Fighter design. They came up with the Avenger prototype as another iteration of the iconic design. Around this time, the TIE Advanced V1 was also in service, though this design was typically given to the likes of Imperial Inquisitors. In 4 BBY, the TIE Avenger was under development at Sinar Test Facility 73. The prototype design was in the final stages of development and scheduled for test flights. Around this time, Rebel agent Cassian Andor had infiltrated the facility with help from an Imperial technician. Andor stole the TIE Avenger prototype while discovering the advanced weapons on board. During his escape from the Sinar facility, Andor's stolen TIE Avenger was pursued by TIE Advanced V1 fighters, which attempted to stop the prototype from escaping the planet. Eventually, the Avenger proved to be a versatile design and escaped to Yavin 4. The original intent was to hand off the TIE Avenger to another Rebel agent who would take it onward. Initially, Andor was taken captive by a band of paranoid rebels, and their prototype was grounded. Thankfully, after many struggles, Cassian was able to escape, recover the TIE fighter, and escape off-world. From there, he took it to Mino Rao in an effort to save his friends from Ferrix. The Avenger was able to arrive out of hyperspace and descend into the atmosphere of the planet with relative ease. Just before its descent, the Avenger was able to detect and scan an Imperial Star Destroyer. Andor successfully took the Avenger planetside and made light work of the Imperial patrols, landing and rescuing his surviving friends, before once again leaving the planet for the next destination. The development of the TIE Avenger, and perhaps theft of a prototype, eventually led to more focus on the TIE Defender program, some of which was supervised by Grand Admiral Thrawn. In Star Wars Legends, the TIE Avenger Starfighter is known as the TIE AD Starfighter. It was also known as the TIE Advance, or the TA. The design was the culmination of a series of Imperial Starfighter designs that were first explored with Darth Vader's very own TIE Advance X1. To avoid confusion with the Dark Lord's own personal starfighter, this TIE became known as the TIE Avenger. During production, the TIE Avenger broke away from the typical Imperial doctrine of quantity over quality, including systems like deflector shields, a hyperdrive, and warhead launchers. The Avenger was significantly faster and more maneuverable than any pre-existing Imperial starfighter or Rebel starfighter. The TIE Avenger came about due to the high success rate of Rebel starfighters against the standard TIE fighter. So many of these got shot down, resulting in high cost to replace both pilots and their craft. The inclusion of a hyperdrive allowed the Imperial fleet to be more flexible. It caused the Imperial Navy to rethink its doctrine of using swarms of cheap craft instead of higher quality designs. Under the direction of Admiral Demetrius Zaran, the Imperial Navy explored the concept of higher quality starfighter designs. One of these concepts, and eventual prototypes, would lead to the TIE Advance X1, which Darth Vader would use as his personal craft. That design never entered full-scale production. Development on the TIE Advance project would continue. The project would have trouble installing hyperdrives on the craft. Admiral Zaran discovered Harbin and the Nulwark scientists. They created a new hyperdrive module that was both small and reliable. Incorporating this new hyperdrive led to the final TIE Advance, which was a starfighter that not only featured a hyperdrive, but shields and warhead launchers. It achieved all of this without sacrificing the TIE's trademark of speed and agility. Admiral Zaran successfully demonstrated the craft to Darth Vader, who was impressed with the design and authorized the production. While TIE Advance is the technical name of the craft, the actual production variant became known as the TIE Avenger by nickname. This led to the nickname being adopted, mainly to avoid confusion with Vader's personal TIE Advance X1 starfighter. Due to the Galactic Empire's complex bureaucracy, production and deployment of the Avenger was limited. Eventually, the TIE Avenger would be overshadowed by a successor, the TIE Defender. We'll discuss that craft inside another report from the Hangar Bay. In the Legends continuity of the Star Wars universe, the TIE Advance X1 would feature in the Star Wars X-Wing game, while the TIE Avenger would be featured in Star Wars TIE Fighter, X-Wing vs TIE Fighter, and X-Wing Alliance. Both crafts would be referred to as the TIE Advanced. In Andor Season 2, the TIE Avenger first appeared in Season 2, Episode 1, 1 year later. In these behind-the-scenes videos, you can see the extent to which the production team of the series went to recreate the TIE Avenger. A complete set was built for both the Hangar Bay on Sinar and a full build of a TIE Avenger prototype. To film with it, the cockpit set was mounted on a special rig, with cameras facing inside to capture Cassian Andor actor Diego Luna. You can see on screen now the level of effort the crew went to in developing the TIE Avenger for the Andor series. That's our overview of the TIE Avenger in the Star Wars universe. While some of you will remember it from the TIE Fighter video game, it's now here in live action for all to enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button for more Star Wars Starship breakdowns. If you enjoyed our research on these videos here on the Hangar Bay, consider supporting us by becoming a YouTube member when you press the join button below. If you want to explore more Star Wars videos, like our breakdown of the Cantwell class of Resto Cruiser, check out the playlist on the end screen now. That's the end of this video. I've been Captain Jack in the Hangar Bay. Remember, if you're talking about science fiction, we want to hear about it. May the Force be with you.